live. Hey, welcome to our lovely game. It's been a while,
Been a while.
couple of hours passed, in the real world, and we're back at it in this world. Once upon a town, with our lovely cast members and lovely players here before you. That was my phone. I'm going to silence that in a moment. Um, But we do have a couple of things that we go through at the start of each of our sessions, just to have a routine going down. And let's see, what are they? Because welcome so thank you so much for joining us. This is our second session of this game. This is a new system of Swords of the Serpentine. It is a interactive system based on your choices and how you want to influence the world, and then you try to influence the world through your choices and actions that way, like D&D, but with less dice rolling and more planning than dice rolling. We've played a number of these sessions before this campaign at Colmarcon. That's where this all originated, essentially. And then now we're playing it in this campaign for you all. So this is not only like our second training session, but it's like a campaign to see like how we can make this thing work and run smoothly. So I hope you enjoy the ride as much as I'm enjoying the ride, because I love this interaction and how this game is played. It's my favorite system right now, and I really can't wait to see where else it can go. So we do our intro popcorn next, with a short little introduction, and then we have a popcorn question as you're introducing yourselves, giving your name, your pronouns, and your character names. So today's popcorn question is: what is your favorite instant drink or powder? It could be the flavor or like a type, but like you think about it, because it's like you're about to be popcorn to everybody. And if anyone can't hear us in the chat, please let us know, or if the volume's off, that way we can adjust it. Anything is possible. But nice to meet you. I am Lich Omoy. I'm your lovely dungeon master for this evening. I do a lot of random things in the darkness and in the void. But for now, I am the dungeon master. I will say that my favorite flavor of instant powder, or taste in my mouth from that instant mix, is going to have to be wild strawberry. It is so banging. It literally tastes like strawberries rubbed in dirt, put into your mouth, and because there's no actual dirt, it's all right. But I love it. I literally have this much water right now filled with wild strawberry, and then for afterwards, I have a literal
Oh
filter.
my god.
Oh wow.
I really like it. So like
He's prepared, honestly.
That's a
the
commitment.
worst the worst part is it only comes in like a 50 variety pack for me right now. So I have to get a variety pack each time I want this one goddamn flavor. All right.
Like you can't
So
just buy the one
Oh,
flavor. That's rude.
What
That's
a world
rude.
we live in.
It is.
Damn
Oh
you,
my gosh.
capitalism.
All right. So let's
I
see
mean-
who's gonna be next. Alexandra, why don't you take up the next spot? So name, introduce yourself, pronouns, who you're playing, and what is your favorite instant drink / powder?
Sure, yeah. So I'm Alexandra. I play Kavari Silverwolf. My pronouns and my character pronouns are both she, her. I don't drink any powdered drinks.
Wow.
So I don't have a favorite, unless you want to count sugar that I put in my iced coffee.
Yes.
I put so much sugar in my iced coffee, it's ridiculous.
That is a
Because
powder. That's
They never
instant.
make it
Yeah.
quite sweet enough for me. So there you go. I really don't drink any. I think the last time I had an instant powder when I was sick and I needed like the dulcim stuff that your mom gives you when you're sick or something like that. That's like the last powdered thing that I drank, and I didn't like it. So sugar and coffee. There you go. I really just don't drink.
Oh
I
my
just don't
gosh.
drink it.
Fancy pants
And-
over there.
I can't even
Who's
think
next?
of one off the top of my head. I get really.
Did you do like the ice? No, actually, I'm thinking iced tea. As a kid, I used to actually just drink iced tea. So never mind.
Mhm.
It would just be tea that's iced, not
Yeah,
powdered
I
iced
did.
tea. All right, popcorn it off to the next person, please.
Yeah, sure. Erica. as I
Hi.
look down.
I'm Erica. I use she, her pronouns. Today I'm playing Stella Wonderwood, your favorite manic pixie triad girl. And my favorite Insta drink is like that Tazo chai syrup thing. Like that you
Oh, I
just
know
like
that.
you pour it in
Oh,
with milk and you heat it up, and it's just like the chai latte, but you make it at home, and it's got 300 grams of sugar, and I love it.
Oh my god.
It's not like that high, but it's kind of
It's up there.
ridiculous. It's
Might as
almost
well
as
be.
bad as Mountain Dew.
Oy.
It might as well be Mountain Dew.
oh God.
All right, let's popcorn to Hutch.
Hey, I am Kelly / Hutch. I'm playing Amelia Portcullis, a lovely gothic Corrigan, and my favorite powdered drink is the raspberry lemonade Crystal Light. I used to have it all the time as a kid. My mom was definitely like one of those. Yeah.
I have it literally like 2 feet away. It's part of the variety pack.
My mom was like definitely one of those people that bought into like sugar was the enemy kind of thing as a kid. So we had like all kinds of Crystal Light, and the raspberry lemonade was like the treat.
My mom also did something similar to that, not with sugar, but with other things. So I feel your pain.
Yeah. And then you realize growing up, you're like, that's not completely the enemy, but it's okay. It's fine. She also thought fat was the enemy too. So I grew up on skim milk, and then I learned as an adult that it has sugar in it. And I was like, okay, so that defeated the purpose. I mean, otherwise it tastes like nothing. But
Because it is nothing. It's
popcorn time.
devoid of things.
Tyler, he, him, playing Duluk Karst Cutter, but you can call them Dolly. They are they, them. I'd have to, it's probably a toss up between either like Nesquik powder, but like that was like, that was been a while. It's been a while. Or the like Minute Maid lemonade that came in that like round tub, and you would, are you just surrounded by powders, Lich?
Look, I am a rich, okay? I just consume so much random stuff. This is banana milk powder. Like this
Oh
is
my
Nesquik
God.
banana
What?
flavor.
Yeah, no.
And it's a
Nesquik
limited
chocolate.
edition.
Like chocolate Nesquik. That was like the OG. That would be it. So
Oh. I think every episode I'm just gonna pull out a random powder
Just
slash
reach
object.
into the void, and there's another powder.
one more powder.
I won't do it. But like, I'm pretty sure I
50
I
flavors
probably-
of Crystal Light later.
Oof.
There's a lot.
All right, so who would like to go and do the recap? Usually, whoever gets a recap, they get a little boon, maybe potentially in the future of that session. But who thinks that they would be able to do a recap for our lovely viewers and listeners?
I actually think I
Ooh.
can.
I'm so proud
because
of you.
I took as thorough of notes as I could last session.
You
Let's
fancy
see.
dame.
Let's see if I can read my own handwriting because I was writing real fast. So, if I get anything wrong, please tell me because then I know.
Okay.
So if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't remember specifically how we all met each other, but we did. We met each other. I assume it was something exciting. What?
Man,
I would say
Okay.
that you all met through like doing work. This is like a
Okay,
doing
good
work
jobs.
situation.
Right.
Yes.
We were hired by, I believe it was a member of a guild to investigate these burglaries, I believe. I know it was
Mhm,
burglaries. I
Jean-Luc
just don't remember who we hired. Basically, went to 4 different people, and we went to Mendar's house, and his, again, like I can't really even read my handwriting. He's a creature with blue glowing skin, and I remember that because that was really interesting. And we were investigating to see what was stolen. The way we found out that the way that these items were stolen, they were all stolen in a similar manner. That somehow or another the thief got into the building, but we can't figure out as to how they did that because there's no evidence of like tampering of windows or breaking in through a door or things like that. But there's definitely like there was footsteps, but then and then on the other side of the wall there's footsteps again, but no damage, and the doors were locked, the windows were still locked, everything was locked. So we're trying to figure that out. And then towards the end of the night, Dolly used something that we were calling spirit sight to see other things in the space, and we discovered, or I should say, Dolly discovered a large shadow-like figure appearing in the room that scared him so much that I think you left us in the room by ourselves for a little bit to go find Kelly's character, who was still outside, who hadn't gone in to the building yet. This was the fourth person we had talked to. But yeah, I realize that's very much of a nutshell thing that happened, but basically the same thing kind of happened in each place that we went to, where they said something was stolen. We investigated how, like what kind of happened, but not specifically how the imposter or how the criminal was able to actually gain access into the building or the house or anything like that. Yeah, if anyone wants to add anything else into more detail, please feel free.
The other really
Anybody
big
else?
thing was that they were like sentimental items without actual monetary value.
Right.
It was very confusing. Oh, and
Yeah.
the last guy we saw, that person wasn't actually the person that lives there. It was someone else, and that was the weird cliffhanger. Like
It was
this
someone
thief-
like house sitting
Victory!
in a way.
Victory!
Right.
Barely
They were
even
like
house
house
sitting.
Big,
sitting or
black,
like
scary, smoky thing.
right.
Yes. Great. That was great. Everything that you said is what occurred. You are, like you said, on a mission from the leader of the town, Jogger Jock, to figure out what's behind these incidents. You know that there's a little bit more than what's being said at play here. You aren't sure exactly what, but you know that you probably should get to the end of this before it gets into a bigger situation. You are currently in the home of, I would say, Mael, because Mael is the one who is the owner of this house. Amelia and everyone else would know based on the photos that the person that you're speaking though to is not this individual. Once you start actually looking in the house and around, you note that, oh, it's a little it hasn't been lived in as much, and you can tell like something's off, but it's not off enough to make you think like it's just a lie. Like they're here for a like they're not just like, why would they stay here and talk with you all, essentially? So this is where we're going to resume. I'm going to say that at this moment, everyone is currently in the home because Amelia, you just came back in, and Dolly, you brought Amelia in, and Stella and Kabari were asking about the level of which this individual was. Stella, great in questioning of it, but you currently are all before this individual, and he looks upon you and says, "My name is Victory. It's such a pleasure to meet you. But I don't know your names. I know you probably don't work together often, right? It doesn't seem like you all do."
Not particularly.
I can tell.
Eh.
But I do want you to figure out where my lovely heirloom has gone, because that would help me greatly, and that would help everyone at play here.
But this isn't your house, right? Like,
Oh, but I have been granted the opportunity to make sure that it is in proper condition for when Mael wishes to return, if they wish to do so.
so you're just looking after your friends. You're concerned about your friend's lost item or acquaintances.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I'm just trying to make sure like it's not lost forever. And I know that your group is so capable, you should be able to figure out where it is. And I would like to help you in your endeavor to figure out where our family heirloom went. before it's lost forever. What have you figured out so far? Anything of note that I can assist you with?
Well, no
I
one's
don't
breaking
trust-
any windows.
Okay. I did note, and
Stella's
he does a wave to the area. He says, "Yes, as you can see, there's not much damage anywhere, which means I don't think they meant to cause a scene when they did it. So maybe it was out of the line of sight of people who would actually see it. So maybe at night."
yeah. Stella doesn't want to reveal anything before squinting really hard at Victory, using her trustworthy level 4 to be like, "Are you helping us?"
The Cardi B meme. Okay.
That's
So-
suspicious. That's weird.
That's
And
weird.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Stella, you can tell they're not lying at all. They're choosing how they're saying what they're saying, and they're not just saying things willy-nilly, and they are actually trying to help you figure out the cause and everything. Like it's like one of those weird instances where you're like they've done this so many times that it's not, they know the words.
Okay. Yeah, that they're a seasoned quester. I suppose. Something
Yes.
like that.
Okay. Well, did you figure out any kind of through line or something that could, lead you to the next person who potentially could be stolen from?
Unless
I
there's
mean, we have a
somebody,
list of who to visit.
but only
Oh.
X amount that will
Sorry, go
talk
ahead.
to us.
But based off that list, can't you figure out like who could potentially be next?
Oh, maybe. When was this? When was this house robbed again?
Oh, it was robbed last night.
Oh,
And who
okay, yeah.
who
this
has
is
a paper?
ongoing.
Yes. And who has a paper? Kavari, right?
I think so.
I don't.
I'm gonna say with my Voidal memory, I believe you currently still have it because Jargujak handed it to you.
Okay.
And when you look over it and the item stolen, you do note that 9 objects have been taken.
From this house that we're in right now. Or just
In
overall.
general. Yes.
Okay. Do we only know what 4 of them are, right?
You only know 4 of the people who are willing to talk with you. The other 5 are crossed
Right.
out, but they're noted as having stolen objects from. And Victory before you says, well, it's interesting that we're on the 9th day stolen and people have had things stolen on repeat. So there could be like another one coming up soon, potentially.
We're working on it. We're not quite there yet.
I believe you. Well, if you need any help, I'm willing to help you. I just want you to be the best possible adventurers on my job as I can,
Why is my friend freaking out? Stella's pointing at Dolly.
Yeah, Dolly is like shaking and
oh,
not
they're
like,
cold. Dolly, you're cold. I forgot. They needed a blanket earlier, and they ran out because they were just so cold. They needed some fresh air.
Yeah,
Hmm.
cold isn't exactly what I got told outside. So,
Oh, and Dolly, You see, Victory has been looking at Amelia, Stella, Kavari. They haven't really looked in your direction, but
Mhm.
when they do, there's this odd sense of pause and gravity. And says, "Oh, you aren't cold? Then what's the matter?"
Do I still see the sort of black?
As
It's
soon as you enter the
just
house,
it faded. It's just Mael, but Mael's it's this person who's playing Mael. Okay.
Well,
but
didn't they
you've never
claim
seen that before.
Right,
Huh?
right.
Yep.
they call themselves Victory? They didn't claim to be
Mhm.
my own. They're just like house.
Right, right. I think Dolly's just gonna. Oh man.
They have their eyes currently still trained on you. And you can tell, like from the interaction so far, they are hyper aware of what the group is. Like you've been getting this knowledge with your like how they're asking the questions, how they're looking at you all, how they're pacing themselves. Kind of like if you were to attack them, they would be almost ready for it.
Mhm.
And it's like they're used to being like dealing with you kind of individuals that try to attack them for whatever reason.
Uh-huh. Dolly's just gonna yeah, cold.
Okay.
I mean,
Let's go get you some tea, Dolly. Yeah. Thank you for your time. We're gonna go help out this one.
so you don't need any clues or anything, and you're good to figure this all out on your own.
We're very capable.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we?
There's like a oh, and let me put this up for the people watching the stream so you see what victory looks like. Because now that we have this little image, I can share it with you all.
That cutie
Let's
patootie.
see the stream.
But
Bye.
All
Can you
right,
also share it in one of our chats?
Oh yes, I can.
Thank you.
No problem. Just let me get over to that lovely section. There you go. And he says, "All right, look. If you need any assistance, I'm always an open resource for you. To some degree, not always. I could be like less of a resource if I can't be resourceful in that moment. So don't take my word to heart until it's, out loud. But if you know for a fact there are things stolen and you know the method of which they're stolen, maybe I can assist you in maybe getting the next target."
Yes. Well,
Okay.
Maybe we'll think about it. We have to investigate a little bit.
what are okay?
I've seen your investigation so far at this place. All right, fine. You know what? I'm going to give you one little nugget. Okay. All right. How about that? Just one nugget. You can go in your merry way and do your job,
Please, dear God, yes.
If the adventuring group that I believe is being targeted, then there's only one person left in that party. And they aren't usually ones to be stolen from. They're kind of like the loud mouth of the group. And capable, I will say that. So, Hades. But they live in the stables. The other people that have had their things stolen were, I could say, what were their names? Comithriel, right? Mendar, Merrick, Arlen, Adam Diver. It's been a while, but
Adam Driver.
no, Adam Diver. I know that for a fact. And Aarakocra. Anyway, if you're trying to figure out the last person in your group, from what I can and have gathered, the only person that haven't had anything stolen from them just yet would be Hades. And I know that they are taking place in the stables so that if any of the animals start acting weird, they would be the first to note it. But I also assume that's why they haven't had their things stolen, because the animals would see other people entering said place before anyone else. But that's just my thought. I just didn't want to get too much into it because I am pretty sure that I would cause a scene, which is why I'm trying to do things the right way.
Well, thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
The nugget. You stay classy.
I will try. But what are your names? You never gave them to me.
Oh, well,
Dolly!
well, we call that one.
Never
tea
give a
time.
Faye your name. Never give a Faye your name.
We call that one
Oh
tea
my
time.
God.
This one
Tea
is
time.
overconfidence.
Overconfident.
And that one has horns.
All right. All right. How about this? All right.
She's just gonna like kind of look up for a minute, just be like she had to look at her horns to be like, okay, all right. Do you know what I mean? Like where she had to remind herself. Okay.
I promise you, upon my name, that I will not use your names in some weird whatever this is thing. I just literally would like to know who to refer to you all as. And I'm willing to talk with you, which is the parameters of the mission that was handed to you.
You
Amelia.
probably have already heard of me. My name's Stella Wonderwood.
Nice to
local
meet you.
performer.
And tea
How many
time over
shows-
there is Dolly.
Dolly. Dolly sounds like a nickname, but nice to meet you, Dolly. I just see like the world just turned to like a blue ice for a second for Dolly. Just like, nice to meet you, Stella. Dolly, you are
Yeah, you can call me Kev.
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 Kev. Kev. Because she saw Dolly's face and she's like, technically she's not lying. It is a nickname, but she's gonna err on the side of caution here because she sees Dolly's face and she's a little scared.
Okay, so this might be our first check of the entire game.
Technically, she's not lying because it's a nickname,
Yes.
or it can be. It can be a nickname.
Yeah, exactly. But you haven't introduced to anyone here.
Yeah, you
your
haven't
name is-
established that to us.
So this is going to be
Y'all
our
can
first.
Ah!
Alexandra.
Well, you
So
can
this is
suck
essentially
my
going to be a trustworthy check. So this is going to test how trustworthy you are in this moment. And currently you have a rank mastery of 1. So you can roll with however many points you want to roll with.
Oh,
but
I
you
do
gotta
have
roll with
trustworthy.
D6.
Wait, yeah, I do. Okay, I'll roll with 1.
All right.
Okay,
you just roll those
remind me
D6,
a D6. Gotcha. All right, hold on.
4.
Sure.
and you're trying to shoot for a 4.
Like a 4 or more, or 4.
A 4 or more.
Oh, jeez. Sorry. Okay. I almost dropped them all
12
everywhere,
D6s later.
and I just would have made a sound.
Can I just
Okay,
roll 12? and
someone
pick
pick
one?
color, blue or pink. Go.
Pink.
Blue.
Pink.
Fuck.
Pink with more.
I have been outvoted.
Okay. 6 plus 1.
Ooh.
All right.
7.
She says, "Okay, Kev.
Kev. She's really confident now.
Okay, Kev. And you, what is your name?
But just be happy I didn't say Agent K because it did come into my head. So
Oh, that would have gave you a negative bonus for 1,000%. You would have had a situational modifier immediately.
Well, that's a good thing I didn't do that.
So, Miss, I don't know how to refer to you. Yes, you.
Oh, Amelia Portcullis. Charmed.
Nice to meet you, Portcullis. Portcullis. Oh, I know I know the merchants, right?
The very same.
Nice to meet you. Well, my name is Victory Goldenheart. It's been a pleasure. Oh. That's odd. I'll see you all later. You're going on to your next place, right?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Alexandra?
Alexandra has a question that Kavari will be asking as well.
Okay.
Did he tell us his name and I missed it? Like me, Alexandra, did I miss that?
He just gave you their name, like their full
Surname.
addressment name. Like,
Okay.
not their true name or like their name, but like the name that they were, the
Right.
first and last name.
Okay. What was it?
name? Like a
What
name.
was
of
that
a
name
name.
again?
There's other names, y'all. There's the true. All right, we won't get into that just yet. But
Like, what did he say his name was?
Victory Goldenheart.
Goldenheart.
Thank you very much.
Victory. The winner takes it all. Goldenheart.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a T-shirt that I'd never want to see in my life.
Mamma mia.
It's canon now. I'm making it. I'm making the T-shirt.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
First Chimera merch.
Would Dolly's felonious intent of one be able to clue them in? Like they've seen, have they seen that type of corruption before? The like black
No,
men.
that's not even felonious. Like you can use a point, or no, you have to spend something for what you saw, and I can give you stuff. But like, you don't have prophecy. You don't. You could spend spirit sight, but how many points have you already spent? You already spent 2, 1, 2. You did it at Mindar's place, and you did it here. So you have only.
Well,
one
and I
point
can't
left.
spend spirit sight because spirit sight has the veil has like it's blocked now anyway.
No, because
Right?
remember you activated.
Oh, because now I'm inside the house.
So
Well-
like once you're inside, you could do it again. But I'm
No.
saying in
All
this
right.
instance, you don't have to activate the eyes, but you would have to spend something to allow you to glean more information about what you saw. It doesn't mean that you have to go spirit sight eyes. It means you have to like focus for a second outside of like this being like, and like, process it. You would spend spirit sight. I would say either laws and traditions, spirit sight, but felonious intent, you wouldn't be able to use that point because it's not like something was happening there.
Right. Okay. No, I'm good. I'm just gonna like get really upset at Amelia for giving him my name.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
Stick with me, tea time. We'll make it through.
Tea time.
So Victory says, if there's nothing else that you need, I hope you have a wondrous Wednesday.
See ya. And then I just walk out the door.
When we walk out the door, Kavari, if it's possible, I think it's possible, would like to go around to the window that was broken into. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. And can I do like a felonious intent, like investigation, like on that side of the window?
So this is going to be a check. Okay. So you were saying you were trying to like.
I was
Are you
thinking
trying
about
to
just.
obviously do this?
Sorry.
Are you trying to do this obviously? Like this is like a.
Well, I
Go
mean,
immediately over and.
I don't really see any reason to hide it since that is the reason we're here. We're investigating these crimes, so it's I don't think she would feel the need to hide it.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing a check and not just doing it is because just trying to see what we need more information. So I'm hoping to get more information than what we've been able to just by looking around. That's my
So
thought
you
process.
go over to the area and you are going to use your point of felonious intent
Yes,
to
please.
do this?
Mhm.
Okay. So in using the point, you realize that this one is a little different because it seemed like the beeline was not, it was like a lined up pool shot, like a lined up trap shot. Like the item was in such a way that if they went to it, it was like a targeted thing. Like either the person inside was trying to catch them and knew that they would do this, or it wasn't just like a day where it was on that display, if that makes sense. All the other places, it seemed like people were using it. It was there, but this, it was on top of a mantle that didn't seem like it belonged there. And it seemed like the person either was trying to catch them themselves or like something happened. But you can't tell exactly what. But with that knowledge, you know, like there's a way for them to like point out where they want to attack, specifically go to it. And that could be a way to like trap them,
So
if
like,
that makes sense.
right, like kind of like setting up a hidden camera, if you will, but not a camera. I mean,
So if
Okay.
you know where the object is, or if you knew what the sentimental object is, you could basically be more ready to deal with them if they were to do it in front of you.
so is it because of that, or maybe you can't answer this, but is it because of that? That's why things seem a little bit more out of place and knocked over here because the thief wasn't prepared for what they found.
Reverse.
If that was just gonna be
There's
like,
less
"Ooh."
thing. No, it's reverse. It's like it was more easy for them to get to, but
Oh,
in doing
I'm sorry.
so, it was to capture essentially this being, but they didn't succeed.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's what I find. I didn't. So that's what I figured out.
You would be able to say like, okay, if we figured out who was going to be attacked, then we can say, okay, what object would this person be going for? And you would have a readiness roll towards that effect. So like if you figured out like the object or the thing that they were going to steal, you would be able to set up a better trap knowing that they would be going straight for it.
Didn't we already figure out that the item that was stolen was that scarf with the depiction
Yes,
of
in
of
this
Arnold?
house. Yes.
Yeah. So they stole the wrong object. Is
What
what
you
you mean by
presume.
that?
You presume something's not right here and there was like something done. And that's why you're like, So if you know the object that they're going to be stealing, you can try to set them up, but you don't know what Victory did in this moment that is causing your thought to be like, what the hell is this? You just know it's something like they didn't, but you can't tell exactly what. But you do know now when you find the next person, if you follow this nugget, then you would have to still figure out what they would want to steal off this person.
Sure. Huh.
Do
Okay.
we know? So, Dolly, come. We leave the house. And who's got the
I'll
paper?
obviously like reiterate this to everyone so everyone knows.
Yeah, Kavari's got the paper. Amelia has the paper.
I think we both do,
Okay,
actually.
Oh, we both do?
It's
we
one
both have
official
one.
note.
from JJ.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have it.
I have it. I have
Okay,
it. then,
Kavari's
yeah.
got it. So,
Mhm.
and Dolly is Mael's name on the paper, or because if Mael made the complaint and it was stolen yesterday, and Victory just said that they're out of town and have been, and that he's watching the house, how would Mael have made the complaint? Yes, see what I'm saying? See.
Yeah.
Oh. How would he have known anything was stolen if he wasn't
But
there?
is it Mael's name on the paper, or is it some other name?
I think it
It's
is
Mael's.
Mael's name
Mael's.
on the paper. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have known who Victory was. But I know who Mael is.
It's also not completely crazy to also think that if Victory's the one like watching the house, that he would want to report the crime, but because it's not his house, he's gonna put the owner of the house's name on it. It's like not it's
That's
not crazy to
true.
think that.
Well, because then you'd be looking at
Exactly.
Victory's house and not Mael's house.
Like in the real world, if I was like dog sitting, something happened, I'd have to put like the owner's name on the
Right.
if I'm at the vet. or
This
something
is
like
this person's dog. It's not my dog.
but it is something to consider. Like it's not
can
something
we-
we should just ignore.
Ask JJ if Mael. Well, maybe not JJ. Maybe one of the shit.
You wouldn't
Tordek.
know
We
then?
could ask Tordek if Mael was the one that came and made the complaint,
You
or
could.
if Victory
dear.
was.
Oh,
if
dear.
they look like Victory. Can anybody
Maybe-
draw? Is anybody really talented? They could
Maybe
sketch
it's more
Victory.
urgent. Maybe it's more urgent that we talk to Hadiz though, because it's like with
And
the
see
middle
what
of the day.
might be
I have to say,
stolen.
You
what
wanna
time
come
is
sit
it? Like, what's the relative like hour of the
It's
day?
about 3 p.m.
Oh, we
Yes.
are running out
All
of time.
right, yeah.
We gotta go
all
talk
right.
to
What?
Okay, okay.
Is there a deadline
What?
like people are gonna go to bed, or
What do you mean,
was there a
what?
deadline that they gave us?
No, it's just
We can
like,
hit
you
the
know, the
stables
day's
first.
going on. you
Okay.
know.
Yeah, we'll hit the stables first, and then
It'd be really
Hit-
helpful if we could like investigate
hit
the
up
other
Torbeck.
houses as well, like the outside as well. Maybe I don't know.
Well, Hadiz works
Of
with
which
JJ.
houses?
Hadiz works
Because
with
you did,
JJ.
you did investigate the outside houses that you have already been to. So the only one that you haven't been able to and you haven't gone to was Hadiz, based off of the new information.
So we could go back there if you wanted.
You could, and you could probably glean something or ask them questions if you wanted to, but that's up to you. And I will constantly be able to give you the time of what it is so that you all are aware. But it's around, like, let's say 3:22. Let's say 3:22 p.m.
Mid-afternoon.
Keeps getting later. You just said
It's
three.
like it's
We
like
keep
4.
talking.
It's like
We
6:30.
gotta go
I'm
to the
just kidding.
stables.
I'm really just giving you a hard time. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just giving you a hard
No.
time.
Time goes forward, you know.
We kind of have to like weigh: is it worth taking the time to go and do that, or to do something else? Like that's really the
Out of
question, right?
nowhere, you all hear a crushing blow from within the house. It sounds like almost an explosion. There's a miniature shaking of what's in the house. You're currently like a good little distance, but you know how there's a fence, and like, you know, you're a little past that fence when you all feel like the rumble of like, you know what I'm talking about, like that weird subtle train. Is that a train? Is that the earth? And then
Like
it
you had
like
to think about it
settles,
for a second.
and then there's nothing.
It'd be really funny if we could just be like, we all turn around all at once.
I didn't do that. I promise.
That's fine.
That one wasn't me.
Oh
That was in
no,
the
not me
house.
either.
That was in the house, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it was hella suspicious.
We're gonna have to go and check that out, aren't we?
I mean, actually, I haven't told Stella and Kavari about the big black thing.
You
Mhm.
went no, you immediately just said none
Amelia
of that.
knows. Okay, so this might be a
Nope.
good time to fill everybody in. Dolly fills everybody in. The big black thing out of the back of the Victory, super saturated with corruption and this weird sort of glitching, not positive looking energy thing.
Oh, but inside you're just cold.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Whoa!
die.
And you're just telling us about this now?
Well, we got out. I didn't want to do it in the house.
Touche.
Well, now the house is exploding.
It doesn't look like anything's happened to the house. The house looks fine.
The house is imploding.
Can we
Which is
go
somehow worse.
look through the window and see if we can see anything through the window? A window? Pick a window?
Who's going to the window?
I'll pick a window.
to the wall.
And you're
Okay.
going there, right?
to that window.
You look inside and you don't see anything. You don't see Victory in there. They must have went upstairs or something. But like the bottom floor is completely empty. There does seem to be like some kind of dishevelment because when you look closer, oh wait, hold up. Let me look at your sheet.
Looking.
Oh, can you send me your sheet? I don't want to make sure I actually have what I'm supposed to be looking at.
Yeah, give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
All right, then in the meantime, you can't tell anything.
Okay. Like it's just nothing.
Well, it looks like they left or something.
That they left, or that there's quite literally nothing inside the house.
Oh, it's not one of those void situations. It's like
Okay.
literally they left.
That's what I was like. You were like, there was nothing. I was like, that's suspicious.
No. But yes. So with their skullduggery, you can tell like something was fixed real quick. Something was mended. Like before, when you were in the house, things were in a certain orientation, and you feel like, imagine Cat in the Hat situation where there's a big mess, but out of nowhere they fixed it up fast enough. But you can just tell you were just in there, and things weren't in certain places.
Oh, well, either they have a stellar maid service, or they got some wackadoodle magic, because everything's nice.
You would note that it's a little bit nicer inside wherever this thing occurred.
Mm-hmm. It looks better.
Shots fired.
I'm not
Okay.
magical. You guys question it.
All right, but you can't see them inside. You know, it's 2 stories, but that's it. And you know, it looks like a normal day. Otherwise, it's back to being nothing happening.
All right. Well, hit up Hades.
Okay.
Follow me.
So
On the way to Hades, Dolly's gonna float the idea that Dolly's not smart enough. Never mind. Not gonna float that idea.
you
Sorry. Dolly's
Before
not smart enough.
we leave, should we not try to go back inside? I mean, this is not something that we should do.
You most certainly can. I'm going to Hades.
Hades it is!
Because the only investigating we got is, oh, look, you clean.
True. You know what? She's you know what? She's gonna just vamos.
I'm not a detective, but I do know when I look stupid.
you do know where the stables are though, because it's like one of the few stables that are like also for long-term animal storage, and you are able to head there because the building is massive. It's in the northwestern part of the town, and it's held off by not just Hades because they want to make sure the animals aren't acting wild out of nowhere, but it's got a couple of stable hands and other people just maintaining it. It's a Tens Day, so like this is their day of leisure, so people aren't actually working today. But you go to the stables and you see this activity of just making sure all the animals being fed. The smell of those animals are hitting your nose. There's horses here. There's pet animals here. There is an elephant or two. But you just see like an arrangement of animals. It's different than the chimera stables where they are doing artificial chimeras for meat for the town. These are actual just like to maintain and keep the animals themselves. You see that on hay far into the stables, there is a younger-ish male that looks very rugged. They have 2 whips on their side, and they have a short sword on their back. lots of scars, a head wrap, and they look as though, even though they're kind of like lying in the hay, they note you immediately when you enter the stables. They haven't done anything, but you can just tell, like, not that they're playing asleep, they're just like looking at you all enter very intently. And what would you all like to do?
So they're all just kind of staring at us, like when the new kid walks into the school for the first time in movies.
They're like, they haven't approached you to ask you about the animals or anything. It's just like people are like taking care of things. They say, nice to see you, have a good day, but very casual while they do their actual work. The people who are here working, but the people that own this place are not here.
What's this place called?
It's just known as the stables.
Oh,
what do you want it to be called? Actually, let's do that. What would you like this to be called?
Is this a place where you can like rent horses or like that kind of thing? Rent a horse.
Okay, rent a horse.
I'm sorry.
Rentaho.
I'm gonna say.
I'm sorry.
Can I suggest the name of Rent a Steed?
Go for it. That's fine.
Can somebody named Steve work there?
I'm sorry.
Rent a Steve from Steve.
Steve.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Stop.
Rent a Steve.
I'm
All
sorry.
right, yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm funnier
Steve.
in my head, and then I say it out loud, and I'm like, well, maybe not.
It's like going to Ashley Furniture and buying furniture from somebody named Ashley. It's too
Oh
good.
my gosh. I'm doing it. Now there's a Steed and Steed. And Steed. Oh no, that's the person who owns it. Steed.
Steve.
Oh my god.
Outstanding.
Okay,
Oh my
I'm gonna write
gosh.
that down. That it's called Rent a Steed. It's if I wrote it down, it is now what it is.
I like it. Rent a Steed.
If Alexandra
it.
writes it, it's canon.
It is. I'm writing it right now.
I don't know about that. All right.
The real question is, how do you Steve?
Little does Lich know a whole sub-arc is happening just right on Alexandra's notebook.
I would do a short story about the horses. The real question is, how do you spell steed? I don't want to get this wrong. I can't
All right.
remember.
I'm gonna say Steed, but I could be wrong. But I'm willing to embarrass myself.
STE.
No, that's
Oh,
right.
oh yeah, Steed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Rent a
here.
Steed. You're at Rent a Steed. Oh my god.
I wrote it down.
And you're enjoying all the available steeds that you could rent out for your uses. And like I said, these are like normal-esque animals, so like they have the range of animals to traverse these badlands that is surrounding Chimera, at least to go to more of a water source or potentially to Garnet or even to other areas. The renting is also buying. You could buy a steed if you wanted to, but typically people just rent it to go somewhere and then come back because they're in the town. The other people that have horses that come in, they usually just leave them at the inn versus using the stables. Okay. So you all are there, and you're just not being necessarily ignored by the people working there and like taking care of the animals. But it's a Wednesday, and they are not trying to just be like, "How are you doing?" Oh, they're just like, "All right, bye," while they're cleaning the horses and like providing them food.
I'm gonna lean over to Stella and be like, "You have a pleasant disposition. You could probably talk to them and nobody would get mad at you." And then I give her like a tap on the shoulder.
Sure.
Push her.
You can do it. I believe in you.
She
I'm proud of
uses
you.
Charm 4 to greet Hades.
Oh, you have a
my
very
gosh,
pleasant
all the animals
disposition.
here are so cute. Hi.
You are very pleasant.
Hello. You're not from around here, are you?
Hi. No, I'm new in town. She flips her hair
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Do you need a steed?
No, actually, I'm here like on a quest. We have like what do you call that? Yeah, like questions for you for a quest.
I want to lean in.
Questions.
I want to lean into
From-
Kavari and be like, "Did she just say quest?"
Did
From
she-
Jar
that
Jar
was
Jar.
Did she? I think she did.
Yeah, Isn't that not what you call them?
We call them missions. I'm the vice leader of Off to Adventure. I'm the one who also helps to make those quests that you're talking about.
Tomato.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but quests usually are
Oh, are
outside
you-
of the town. Missions are typically inside of the town.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Are you Hades?
Yes, I just said I was the vice leader of the people who are going to pay you if you do the job that you've been assigned.
You're technically my boss.
I just start laughing. I just start laughing behind her.
Because what's did you figure out? Are you trying to turn in the mission? I can take it from you if you have.
No, someone was like, "Hey, I think Hades is gonna get robbed," and we're like, "Okay, let's look into that." So,
Who
here
said
we
that?
are. Victory.
And you see, this is when they first get up. Says,
Like we're allowed to tell you details, right? Because you're the boss, so like we can just tell you whatever. Because there's like a rule, but you're the
Normally
guy,
you
so
shouldn't.
Did you just
Normally
say
you
he's
shouldn't.
the mob boss to him?
So are you like in
Is that
the
what
mafia?
No, I just said
Rest-
boss, not mob.
Your restaurant's
Okay.
in front,
You're a
right?
cop. You have to tell me. That's the law.
I think in this world you all hear Stella say mob boss. If I mean you say it and no one knows what that exactly is, and then it reverts to you saying normal conversation. So
Okay.
everyone heard it, and then it's just like no, I'm the vice leader of Off to Adventure, the organization of Chimera that makes the jobs for the people who can do them. You can tell me things, but I wouldn't trust that if I was anyone else. You shouldn't be giving random civilians information that could harm them.
Like
What is the
Like,
mission you all
that's an
accepted?
episode, look at
Victory?
Amelia.
Okay. Victory, I don't know of a victory. So they aren't from here.
Well, apparently they're watching Mael's house.
Wow. Oh, he left like a while ago. Like, okay. All right. Anything else you need to tell me?
It does look like you're the next target.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I can hold my own. I've fought in a lot of the and you see they're really young, but they have an air about them like they've been in a lot of fights. It's like, oh, you can see why Jacques is leading, and then this is a second person because they probably seen a lot of grew up in this. But if someone tries to take me down, I'm gonna be fine.
Kabar is just gonna step up and, sir, if you wouldn't mind me asking, is there any particular reason or item, object that you might possess that someone would want to take from you?
I mean, I have all my I have and he says, "This is my diamond whip. It's got the tip of a diamond on top. It's top notch. It."
Ow!
Sorry.
See, like,
Wow.
and then he's like, "This is a sword that's made from the blood of I think a basilisk. I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, well,
And-
and
Like,
those are
which one's your
wonderful
favorite?
items. How about anything of personal value to you, nostalgic value to you?
Less
Might not
money.
be very expensive, but to
Mhm,
you
mhm.
it is priceless.
Sentimental.
Sentimental. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I don't have like an. Are you saying like an item, like a what?
Yes.
Memento.
It's
Yeah,
something that means
means a lot to you.
everything to you and nothing to the rest of us.
So this is going to be a moral sway attack. Who's going to try to
Oh,
do this?
Why isn't it an attack? Why? I want to know. I'm just curious. Why would
Because
it be
we
an
will
attack?
crush him.
Because
Mentally.
you're asking someone about their past sentimental item, and
Oh,
you see
okay.
what I'm saying? Like you're trying to defeat them to give you that data. Because
Okay.
think about it. Would you want to tell anyone about some random, very sentimental item on your person?
No.
Yeah, I guess it would depend. Yeah.
If some
So in
random
this
person
instance-
was
I
like,
got
"What's
that.
the best thing you have in your house?" I'd be like, "Haha, get out."
Yeah. But if it doesn't cost
Leave
you
my
anything,
house.
if it doesn't cost, if it like isn't very expensive, right? So it like would be the last thing that you would think that someone would steal, right?
But you can't count on that because,
That's
like,
fine. No, it's fine. I was just curious.
So who would like to do this attack? And this is going to be how we learn how to do like a sway attack.
What is it like?
I
What
have
would it be?
11
Oh, like a
sway.
I should
so. This
not
is literally
sway.
a sway.
You have 11
It's literally going to be a sway
sway?
attack.
I have. Damn.
Oh,
okay. I have
fuck,
five.
right off
Okay,
with
that
your
was a lot.
11
That was my
sway.
double
Holy
stat.
shit! Yeah, go.
Okay, never
But
mind.
this
I'm gonna
is
take a step
different
back.
than
Go
an
ahead.
So what do I roll?
investigation, everyone. This is like an instance where you are trying to hit a target, and the DC is a lot higher than the other roles that have been social based. So this could be like, okay, well, it's a sway attack. You need to know like the threshold, and you want to say like, okay, do they have armor? How likely are they going to give me this information? And this is the thing that you do. I say you're going to do a sway attack. You tell me how many points you're going to put towards this roll, seeing like the difficulty of it, and then you roll to see if you make it, and then we do damage if you hit. So who you said who's going to be doing this though, so we can go from there?
I mean, I can. I have
I
sway.
have
unless...
11, so the sound like the highest.
Yeah, Erica.
All right.
Here.
Absolutely.
So-
guys.
Stella, do it up.
Erica,
You don't have to use the whole
So-
11, though, right?
no, because before you decide, you can just
Well, doesn't
yeah.
it help me start though?
yeah. So you assume that it's going to be a semi-hard roll because, like I said, you're asking the vice leader of this adventuring situation, what's your most sentimental item that you
It's a-
might not
It's a
even tell?
personal question. Yeah.
So it might be a little difficult. So you might think it's like a 6-7 difficulty, and you're rolling a d6. So as many points as you want to spend,
Oh,
yeah, you see, like it's like a check roll, and you're trying to hit that check roll.
It's like
So-
difficulty.
yeah, I mean,
It's
I
like,
have 11
CR.
points, so I'll just use.
Are you-
I'll just use 5 of them.
Okay. So then roll your dice, please.
So it's like
I'm
in
doing this
D&D
in the
with
Discord,
difficulty
okay,
level. Like 1 to
Mhm.
10 is not very hard. 10 to 20 is pretty hard. Da, 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 da.
Yep.
It's nifty. I like that.
Yep. Your thresholds are like your ACs.
That's weird. It's not going. What the hell? Let's just do it on the Google then. I don't have my physical
Kitty!
dice here right now.
Sorry. Oh my god.
Just
I wish I had. I wish I could have.
I got a
had
4,
some.
so I have 9.
Ooh, that's tasty. Okay, so let me make sure. 9. Their thresholds. You got that. And then let's see how much damage you do. Once you hit, you roll for the damage based on like what you're actually doing. Different weapons have different damage rolls, but I think with this first check, you don't have to worry about damage in that sense because this is just to see like you are strong enough to get past a certain point. So in actually taking even 1 point of damage, Hades will tell you the information. They have a very high armor when it comes to morale. And they say, well, I have this. And you see like on the back, the other whip that they were carrying is like a battered basic first level adventurer whip. So yeah, I used to be in a situation where someone was beating me with this and I took it from them and beat them with it. So, I mean, I don't use it in battle, but it just, gets me, I won't lose a fight is what I'm saying. But like I said, I don't think anyone's just going to be able to take this from me.
So it's like
No, you can go.
so it's like a, was it like a sword that he's like showing us, or
A
It's
whip.
a whip.
oh, a whip? I'm sorry.
To back
Yeah,
you
but
from
if you're
Chimera.
sleeping, you can't really fight back.
I'm pretty alert,
Can't really
and
fight
usually
back if you're asleep.
people usually go for the other things first. There's no like way they'd be going for the whip first.
No, this is what they're going for. Like pretty much every other place, it was some random shit like that.
No, this is like
Oh boy.
true. I mean, I mean, that's why I was asking.
I mean, it's not crap. It's just it's all really random.
Good save, Stella.
Not
I
a
need
lot
to
of
get
value.
the
just-
rule book. Okay, and I think that's going to be our first break point. So we're going to be back, and I would say let's say 5 minutes, everyone. Oh, this is going to be tasty. All right.
Oh, boy.
So everyone
Perhaps they
will be
offended
back.
an
Baby
NPC.
kitty.
Drop hearts for Jenkins. Drop hearts
You're
for
holding him
Jenkins.
like a little
Baby.
baby, and it's so
Wait,
cute.
He's asleep. He is asleep right now.
We're back.
Woo!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this lovely return of our player. This is actually a little bit of combat now because some things were said. And at first, it wasn't going to be combat because I said this was going to be good, but things change. You did strike and you did do damage, so I'm going to have you roll that damage now because we're entering a sort of combat.
Wait,
So-
who hit what? When? Where? What?
It changed
I
from
was like,
being
your
just a
sentimental item is
conversation.
shit.
Who said that?
Stella.
Where was I? Okay.
You thought it was peaceful for a second. It kind of was. It was like, all right.
Yeah, and Stella was like,
This
"Oh,
is something
all this crap."
I would like to note.
Like, that's really ugly. Why would you pick that?
Good job, Stella. So proud of you. Glad I made you go first.
So can you roll me a d6 for damage, Stella? And you're gonna do.
I got a 1.
You rolled a 1, so you can't get any less than the points you spent. So that's 5 plus 1, 6 damage of moral, 6 moral damage to Hades.
So did he
And
hit her with the whip?
no.
We're
This is
arguing.
actually, this was the stuttering that he was doing before, where he was like, that was the moral damage of like getting hit with that anime protagonist speech situation. So now he's gonna say, well, just because you haven't been through what I've been through doesn't mean you're any better or can judge what I have. And that's their sway attack. And I think they're going to spend I'm going to say 4 points. All right. And your threshold is what is your moral threshold?
I have 10 points in it. I don't know what the
So that's going to
threshold is.
make your moral threshold 4.
Oh,
Okay.
it's 4, yeah.
So if they spend, and that's why I did that from the void, it spoke to me. 4 points mean they're going to hit, but it needs to go over your 4. They need to roll a 7 or higher to do a critical hit.
And I have 1 grit.
That takes away damage from their damage roll. That takes away
Okay.
when they actually. So they rolled a 3.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so they rolled a 3 plus 4, 7 critical hit. So they roll 2d6 of die.
Jesus.
That's going to be a 4 and a 3 plus 1.
Ooh.
That's
Oh my
going to be
God.
8 points of moral damage. 8 points of moral damage. And if you have
-1.
1 grit, yep. You see? So
I'm
you took.
hurted.
So let me look at your thing. You might have to do a check, I believe.
So
But you got a lot of moral, so that's pretty good.
Well, I'm in the healthy region, but I'm not yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, the other thing I was trying to figure out all right, so this is another thing about this combat that's really intense. You could go down really quickly because it's not just like you take a hit. If you take this kind of damage, that means like you've taken a huge blow to your morale and character. So at that point, that's like a break of morale, break of character, break of heart, purpose, all of that thing. I'm gonna try to figure out where that was, but I do not know. But that is what happened. You currently are at your you're currently at. I have your score, so you're there. You've been hit, but now if you want to do something in return, you can. They can't do something to you until something happens to them right now. So, is there anything anyone else would like to do?
I mean, I'm not.
They aren't seeming like they aren't hostile yet, but you can tell like they were pinched by that.
they were offended.
Stella's gonna formally apologize.
What?
Do I have
Oh
to roll for that, or can I just be like,
no, you can just do
Roll
it if
for
it was
I'm
an
sorry?
enemy. He's like, I've been in so much.
Roll to apologize.
Oh gosh, that's rough. I don't want that to be real. But he says, I understand what it means to like be on a job and say things that you don't mean, and that's typically why adventurers aren't really allowed to speak to other people. They kind of do things like you just did, and it's kind of a
Yeah.
Yikes.
and I apologize for coming back at you so harshly, but at the same time, I hope we both learn from what we've been through. Um, but like I said, no one's gonna just come into my place and you realize his place isn't really anything. It's just like hay, and he probably goes to the town and eats when he wants to or gets his stuff. But like I, I'm not really worried. But you can. When are they supposed to attack? Did you figure that out?
It seems like tonight.
Tonight on a 10 day.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they don't have any regard for like the town rules and anything. Whoever this thief is.
And
All
the
right. Fine.
pattern seems to be stuff that doesn't necessarily have a ton of monetary value, but something that's personal to the soul.
Like some kind of ritual shit.
Possibly. That's why I asked
Mhm.
if you had a sentimental.
From all of your,
item.
But you
and
don't
they're all
know
from your old
yet.
adventuring buddies.
What?
Well, like, yeah, like 4 out of 9, right? Yep, they were all in a party together. Sentimental stuff was taken, and that victory person you had never heard of cared way too much about all this going on.
Jargajog was supposed to take care of this job. Why did he give the job to you all?
Is he asking why? Oh,
Are you serious?
Please don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot
Okay.
anybody.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So he gave you all the job involving several of the core members of Chimera.
That's what you are.
Kavari is gonna take out the flyer with the information on it and be like, "I swear we're not lying. We're not making this up.
I
We're not trying to-"
I don't. No. I believe you. That's the problem. I believe you that Jargajog gave you this job.
Okay, she'll put it
We were
away.
gonna decide how to deal with it soon. But... Oh, if it was all right, I see. Oh, he had faith in you. Oh,
Oh, ow.
okay. Yeah, I mean, like if you say that it's gonna happen tonight, all right. What do you want me to do?
Stakeout.
How
I
about
mean-
can
We're gonna
Kavari be
set a
like,
trap.
can we have like a group huddle?
Are you saying away from Hades?
Well, I don't know. I don't. She doesn't know if Hades is like is Hades like someone that we can trust to talk about this, like that kind of thing. Like he seemed
He's
a little
paying us.
offended, right? That we're the ones that took the job. That you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Imagine you're doing a job, right? And out of nowhere, you're heard like, "Oh, someone else is going to do your job for you."
Yeah, I
but
think
you can
it's-
just
It sounds less offended and more betrayed.
Fair enough.
yes.
Okay, Kafari's just like,
More
You
like
know
he
what?
trusted Jaggerjock and Jaggerjock passed the buck.
he dropped
But
the
then
ball,
you
as it
all
were.
found him, so it's like, yeah, if he truly dropped the ball, you all wouldn't be here, I guess. But at the same time, why would you do that if it was so pressing? So it's like that's what you are sensing with this conversation. Because all right, well, I could go confront him right now, but I feel like he didn't tell me so that I wouldn't confront him. All right.
I like Amelia's plan. That seems like an interesting idea.
The stakeout.
Well, if we stick around, catch them in the act, we can, do some. And then maybe find where
Right.
the rest of the stuff is.
Sure. All right. But the animals will act up anyway if I'm approached by an attacking individual.
Yes, but the animals don't have thumbs.
Wait, does she say that? Like,
And
say that?
swords. Dolly just pulls out a little bit of frostbite.
I didn't say I was
Oh,
smart.
Yeah, but they
I
can.
know you.
My
You-
thief is magical.
I remember some of you from the missions. What's your name? Demi something?
Dolly.
Uh,
Dolly.
and your name? Dolly. Dolly. You came from
Yeah.
the north or the Iceland, right?
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know this stuff?
Hey, no,
He's the vice leader.
I've been around. I've been around. I've done missions before for him.
But still, like,
He is the second in command to
Here
Shocker
for
Shock.
a
He
year.
knows a lot.
like the governor doesn't know all of his citizens in the state. Like, you know, like
The town's not that big.
Town's
I
not.
get
And
it.
then- And Dolly's also in the Knights of Jagaja.
right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's like a
Yeah.
double of like, yo,
Listen,
you're that
listen,
one
listen,
guy.
Listen, I know. I understand. I wasn't thinking. Never
But
mind.
Hades has an eidetic memory. They
Kavari,
don't
you're
know
so
anything.
pretty.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Psychic damage or whatever it is.
Oh.
Moral damage.
Wow.
Yeah,
Morale
you're
damage.
pretty. Yeah,
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Oh, God love you,
Sway
Alexandra.
attack.
She's gonna
Ooh.
pout a little bit.
So you all say this. All right. So
Me too.
either we can make it the same. I don't feel like they'd attack me if I was here. But we could like leave it somewhere, I guess, or I could go talk to Jogger Jaw. You know what? All right, stake out. I've never been in this side of the fence when it comes to doing a mission, so this is a little awkward for me. I'll sleep. If I look like I'm sleeping and actually sleep, then it should be fine. And like I said, it's going to be less likely that they'll be able to take it off of me if I'm aware that it's coming and there's people staking it out. So I'm not really pressed. When do they usually take these things?
Sometime in the night.
Yeah, of course. I guess I wasn't doing anything anyway, and you see that they just fall back into the hay. All right, well, got it. So at this point, this is what is considered a time skip. So up until the point, you all can do anything that you want as like reasonable. Is there anything you want to do in preparation or during this time of which you are staking out the house? And tell me what you're doing to stake out the stables. It's a big think like a. I wouldn't say that. So, not like a football field, but like half a football field almost. It's pretty big.
50 yards.
Yeah. So like that's why he's like, no one's gonna just like take this from me.
It's
And,
like,
like-
the Triple Crown type of situation. It's like a lot of floors, a lot of wings, a lot of space.
Horse girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a horse girl. Just my mom was when she was a kid, so I know some stuff.
Child of a horse girl.
We lived in the town.
Yeah.
My mom was like, I really wanted a horse when I was a kid, and my mom and dad were like, no.
Oh. Same. I'm acting like I didn't want one too.
She was like, I learned my lesson.
Oh
like-
my gosh. But
Yes.
you do know this
Walk
space.
everywhere.
You all can stake out the area. So I'm guessing you're going. How will you stake out the area? Tell me how you're going to prepare for this.
I would like to find if there's access to the roof.
Not normal access. You would have to climb. So you can attempt to climb the roof if you would like to. You know, City Secrets, the best places to try to get there, which would make your situational modifier bonus because you would know basically how to traverse the roofs easier.
Amelia,
So,
counter. Oh,
oh no,
I
you're
thought
fine. You can
I
keep
thought you
going.
were done talking. I'm sorry. I was going to say, Amelia, counterpoint.
Counter.
Instead of that, or also that, but also, if there's like, are there like those loft type of things in this stable barn kind of thing.
Oh, like a hayloft?
Yeah, thank you. Like that kind of thing. With,
Mhm.
like a
Hayloft
ladder
would,
to it.
hayloft would be easier, significally easier.
Because we could also like hide in there.
You
want
could
all of
hide
us
in the
behind
hay.
the hayloft?
I Dolly's just gonna put out there, bad at hiding, bad, very loud, very not stealthy. So maybe Dolly like goes somewhere else, like hides like outside of the thing.
Or how
Of the
well is
room.
Dolly at like deception?
Yeah.
Because if there's like, does Hadiz have like some kind of security guards or something like that like stands outside? If you could do that.
You
Dolly's
could do that.
trustworthy. I could pretend to be a guard.
Only I was
Absolutely.
going to say
I'm a
only
knight
if
of JJ.
Hadiz does have guards, because if
Smart,
not, then
smart.
it would look out of place. So.
He does not have guards because he's a D. So that's like
Pretty
the
badass.
thing here is like he's
Yeah.
not shocked or like concerned. So like this is why he said this is out of his element, because he's like, I just fight them and it would be a scene. And
Yeah. Well, Dolly's just gonna sit outside and pretend to be asleep, but not try to hide because that would go poorly.
okay. We'll get into group checks later in life, just so that we can show each people doing individual checks for this. But in the future, if it was like a group effort, your stealth might even be negated because you're doing it as a group. And there's ways that you could like dip in all your general points, everyone, so that it just covers you regardless. And you can also piggyback off of someone else's stealth roll by just contributing one of your like a point spend to their roll to make it more difficult for them, but at least now you're using like their stealth ability instead. So we're gonna say some people are going into the loft for sure. And are you set on the idea of going outside and sleeping outside and faking sleep, or what would be your end game?
Well, now I know about group checks. I'm gonna trust that my group has got my back.
Hey, so the loft is about 20 feet up. Like you have to get there, which is why they put it there so the animals can't just like reach it and such.
Right.
And you all could do that. You need to roll an athletics check, because if you aren't used to going up this rinky-dink ladder, you have to maneuver yourself up there. So this will probably be our first actual group check if everyone's going up to the top, or is it who's going to go up to the top?
I think Amelia and I are going to go to the top, because I don't think we should all be in the same place.
Okay.
Unless everyone disagrees with me. And if that's the case,
No,
if
I
you
agree with
disagree
you. I
with
just
me,
wanted
it's
you
fine.
all. I wanted you all in the same spot. Okay.
Is that the only way to do a group check?
No, I was just wanting you all in the same spot so I could do some things later.
Does it count as metagaming when the GM does it?
So we're all going to the loft. Done.
Called out.
I'm sorry. I was just like, wait a minute.
The four of us simultaneously looked into the
Alexander's out
void,
for
and
blood.
the void said, "You're all
No.
going to the loft." Fine.
So
Trust
you
the
don't
void.
have to do that. I
Listen,
mean, that's oh my god.
My thought process was because like it would be easier to ambush this person to be able to actually catch him or her or them.
That makes perfect sense.
Hadiz
Because
is
then there's
down.
less exits for the thief. But also, I could also just
Yeah, how
An
many
idiot.
entrances and
So,
exits and
precise
windows
stuff.
are there?
There's like 4, because each bay basically has a window, so it's not like it's hard, and that's why I'm like, it. You see how open it is, but like there's still distance to cover, and it's like I'm thinking. I have seen this at like State Fair. Oh, it's like a stable at State Fair, like like the big area. Yeah, I've been there. I physically have been to one of these things, and that's why he's like, all right, if they come for me, it's going to be very open. So there's a lot of places to enter.
Do they normally close the windows or doors at night?
Yes, I do.
All of them?
All the ones that
Let's
are like
just leave
relevant.
one
for
cracked then, like on accident.
That
Okay.
has a direct beeline to where Hadiz is sleeping.
You could do that.
Because
If
they're
you-
going to
that's-
try to get
Yeah.
Hadiz's thing off of his body,
Right,
right?
yeah,
That's
so
what
we'll
we're
just-
that's what we're presuming.
Plan which window's open.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I can leave a magical trap or some shit.
Oh shit! All right, do that.
I am really curious to see how this
Yeah.
is doing this.
Do that.
Like it bumped. Like
The
oh
amount
my,
of
why is this
fools
the
just,
first we're hearing of-
skyrocketed.
because it causes corruption when you do these things.
Okay, fair. Okay, yeah, good point. Good point.
I gotta say, I am very curious to know how this thief is like coming in and out of places without opening windows or doors. Like, I'm so curious. I wanna
Oh my
know
god,
so
it's a
badly.
leprechaun.
Magic.
All right.
Magic.
We established
It's just
it
the
has
shadow
small
monster.
blue feet. It's a little tiny.
Question about
Yes?
corruption. Can it be diverted to like one of the creatures in the room?
Corruption is your act of doing the bit. So corruption is when you are taking your soul and corrupting the space so that it conforms to your wishes. So that's why it either is external and affects the area or internal and it affects you. It can't affect other people until they interact with that space after you have actively done something to it.
So could we accidentally hurt the horses?
Oh, you absolutely could. You can make them start, instead of putting milk out their body, like there's cows here, but instead of milk, maybe like salt water comes out. Instead of like the horse's eyes like looking at you, they like look away from whatever they're looking at. That's the bad stuff. That's the bad stuff.
Oof.
I
Figures.
don't like that image that just came in my head. Like, I really
Yeah.
don't. Like,
Yeah, that's how bad corruption is, which is why they don't want you just randomly corrupting the area in Chimera.
okay, so let's not hurt the animals. We don't like this. We don't like
It doesn't
animals.
hurt them. It just changes the way that they are.
We're
really
not
bad.
hurting them. We're just
But they're
ruining
perfect
their
just
lives.
the way they are.
Do I need to? Do I need to spend points to do it, or
Yes, when you start to do like the
to
things
do
that
the
would be.
thing?
Oh man.
That's funny though.
Because that would be like an attack, setting a trap.
It would be a
Oh, you know
something
what?
outside of like general
Um,
cantrip magic.
Okay.
Before that, I have prophecy, so I'll use 1 point of my prophecy investigative abilities and be like, okay, if we leave the window open like this, how fast is shit gonna go down? Do I need a magical trap, or can we just have like a net?
Please describe how you're trying to
Something.
use prophecy. Describe the scene as, it's about, let's say, 4:47, and it's that nice little time outside. The air is smelling like a swift autumn breeze. Tell me how you are doing this prophecy, please.
So she's standing at the window that's going to be left open, like kind of peeking in at the little crack that's available and kind of trying to vision herself, I guess, phasing through the wall, running, grabbing up the thing out of Hadiz's pocket, and then zip zap zooing the way that she came. And just trying to think like, okay, if I was a highly magical beast that phased through walls and could go unnoticed by these magical creatures, like, am I going to be fast? Or more like a stealthy, unnoticed kind of thing.
I assume like your nature magic is basically making a portal to what you're looking through. No one else can see the prophecy except those that are actually utilizing this magic. So either you're looking at the nature plants or your what are your spheres again? Is it
I have
Plants,
illusion,
wood.
luck, and physical trans. Oh,
and physical what?
transmutation.
Okay. So I would say you're looking at the window, and it's an illusion that only you can see of like shifting speedy things. Like imagine the cars that pass you, if you aren't expecting them, it's a blur, right? And you get like this sensation of boom, 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 like that. And like you're looking for like that blur, but that's your prophecy. And it feels weird to you. Like you're looking at the window and you just get like the blur feeling.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is set up a physical transmutation trap with illusion to try to like just make it not immediately obvious. Just I want to make it kind of like camouflage with the ground, and I'll throw some hay over it, like right in front of Hades, between like in that path from the window to Hades. It's gonna be like basically a pressure plate. Once it is stepped on or interacted with by some sentient being, once this air space is, it's gonna try to just like throw up a wall, like a cylinder, all up around
Ooh, cool.
Hades and the creature.
Hades and the creature.
Oh, wait a second. All right, so you're
Yeah,
saying
so he can whoop up on the.
All right,
So-
all right, cool.
Oh my
Hades
god,
is
you're making a
currently laying-
portable octagon.
So
It's a
you
cage
see,
match.
like,
Magical
you're
cage
saying-
He's
match.
got
Yeah,
the other whip
so-
too, right?
you got the diamond tip. But Hades is lying on the hay, and you're saying you're setting up an arcane trap to where if someone enters the field, it makes like a cage match around them, or like all of them, like
Yes.
a pillar.
Yes, that we can jump into.
Okay, so I get. So you're
Oh
above.
shit!
Yeah, so you're above,
Okay,
and you're saying you're
yeah.
gonna wall them in if this is activated. When this is activated,
Yes.
how
Yep.
high do you want it to go up?
Up to the hayloft,
Oh, okay.
so that
All
we
right.
can just like.
I love it. All right,
How many points do you
So-
want me to spend?
you tell me, because that determines how strong this trap is, and that also determines how strong the corruption is that is going to be released into the world. So
Mm-hmm. It's probably a big deal that we capture it now. 2, I guess. Yeah.
okay, so are you externalizing the corruption, or are you internalizing the corruption?
It'll be internal.
Okay. So describe, as you are setting up this trap, what happens to you as the corruption is disapproving of you altering physical reality in such a way. What do the people around you see as you are doing this magic?
So you know how there's like bark that has like there's like the raised level bit and then there's the ravines in between. So Stella's skin it becomes kind of more scraggly like that bark, but in the gaps it kind of gets all glittery and reality shifty.
I imagine you know the spell
Just some,
fairy
like,
flame
patches.
or fairy lights. What is that spell? The fairy light spell that gives advantage in fairy fire. I imagine like fairy fire distorting,
Yeah.
like floating
Yeah,
out of
fairy
your
fire.
skin.
Whoa.
Do
You do
yeah.
that at
I-
parties?
but
I can't stop
that
it
usually-
now.
if people see this kind of effect though, they understand like, oh, you're one of those people. Oh, you might be corrupting the area as you walk by, kind of deal. So that's just something keep. Hades is kind of like, okay, you didn't externally, all right, that's fine, but like, hey, watch it. So you set this trap, and Hades has entered his sleeping hay bin. Everyone is trying to get to the loft. So those that are trying to get to the loft, please roll me an athletics check, essentially. And your goal to beat is 3. So tell me if you're going to spend points before you roll, and then if you can use anything that you think would help you get up to that level.
I would like to spend
I have
1 point.
Of athletics.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You spend 1 point of athletics, and please roll.
I'm just rolling the 1d6, right?
Is there a
Yep,
ladder?
the DC is 3. There's no real good ladder for this.
I got a 4
4.
on the die plus the 1 point, so that's 5, right? Yes, is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay.
That is how that works. So you
So
get
I got
up
5.
and In theory, you can help people now. So if you want, you can give them essentially a situational modifier, which adds another 1 to them getting up the ladder. So you're stabilizing it. You are helping, pull them up when they get to a certain point. So who would like to go up after that?
I will spend a point of athletics.
Okay. So you add 1 to your roll, and then situation modifier. So you're going to add 2 to this.
Yep,
So
I'm
we all
holding the
decided
top
to
of the
go up
ladder.
into the loft together.
7. I rolled a 5.
All right, so you're up 2. So now 2 the party's up. You're like all up there. You're getting yourself situated. Who's next?
He
All right,
floats
so
up there.
you
I
now have a plus. Yes.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
I have a plus what?
Plus 2. 2 people are helping.
Oh, I have 9 in athletics. Should I still roll?
In theory, you can't fail, and that's what I was going to get at. Because you have a plus 2, 1 from the 2 situational modifier situations, you're going to add 2 to this roll anyway. So the DC was 3, and the lowest number you can roll is a 1, so you're going to succeed. Okay? So does everyone understand how that works?
That's cool.
So should I not
see?
roll?
You still have to roll, but like
No matter
normally
what you
wouldn't
do,
know.
you win.
Yes, normally you wouldn't know the DC though, and that's why you try to stack up situational modifiers and how many points you're spending, because in worse situations the DC could be like 6, and at that point you're like, okay, how can we get this down as we get up? Which is a weird thing I just said, but it made sense forward.
That's the
So
t-shirt.
even if I roll 1, I get plus 2, 3.
And the DC is 3, so you're good. So let's say you roll, it's fine. You get up. So at this point, basically, you can guarantee anyone else in the party would be able to get up to this level.
And I rolled a 4, so.
All right. And Stella, where are you going to be?
Cool.
The
So
last,
Dolly is no longer going to pretend that
and-
he's sleeping outside?
No, because we're doing the group check.
Okay.
Help me
Right.
stealth thing. You're all gonna like pile hay on top of me.
And then we're gonna do the cage match.
Yeah, my
All right.
athletics
So
was a 4. So
you get up and you're very pleasantly accepted by the rest of the party as you all get into your places for this monumental quote unquote stakeout. So you I'm guessing you all are trying to hide in the hay, or like what are you all doing as you're up in this space, smelling all the animals and hearing the sounds of horses and random creatures? I don't know what other sounds.
There's
you
just
hear.
hay. There's like nothing. It's just hay.
It's hay, and other food storage is farther down this way. And because the other stable hands had seen you talk to Hades, they're not investigating what you're doing. You could, in theory, go farther down and get like more like the other stored food, but it's like grains and other things.
Okay. There's no like separate compartmentalized rooms up here. It's just an open loft. Okay.
Like all that stuff is like in the offices, farther down the way.
Yep. Dolly's just gonna. They're loud when they move because they're wearing so much shit. So they're just gonna plop. Like, they're just gonna plop down behind like some hay bales and not move. They're not even gonna try to see. They're gonna go somewhere where they can't even they're not worried about that. They'll get alerted by the others.
All
They're
right.
not trying to be sneaky. They're just.
Do we all want to stay close to this soon-to-be cage match, or is there time,
Yes.
I guess, to roam about, sort of stay near it?
It's up to you. If you want to
I
stay
think they'll have to
closer,
act
that's
really
basically at the
fast.
edge. Yeah,
About
if you
what
want
time
to stay
would you
close,
say it is at this point?
I would say it's like 5:27. So it's getting to that maybe we should go in kind of time for people that like go to bed early.
Okay. Well, Amelia hides so well that she's still playing hide and seek. No, okay.
Oh gosh.
So, but she has essentially like this. I
I like in my notes I wrote burglar mask, but I'm thinking more of like she's got a scarf that's around her neck that she kind of like drapes around her face and stuff like that, and just sort of like tucks into the corner, not like buried into the hay, but just like sinks into like a shadow in the corner.
Yes, when you all have an 8 or above in a general ability, you gain an additional like boon of that class. So I was just literally looking for what the boon is of the burglary one, but I'm pretty sure it's something to that effect of if you're hiding and you have time, you're good.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
All right.
I have
And
that for stealth as well, so I'm just gonna do that.
so you see your party start fading into the darkness of which does not exist around you, Dolly. You're like, where did oh my god.
The fuck?
Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, I know you're close, you gotta be, right? You didn't just like leave, right?
I feel like
So-
Kavari would be pretty good at that too, because I've got 4 in stealth.
Yes. And this is one of those things where I will say stealth modifier. So okay. So please roll a stealth check.
Oh. You would like me to add 1 to 4?
It's up to you because right now your situational modifier you wouldn't know, but you can add points before your roll. The other helping you was obvious because it was literally people helping you. You have a situational modifier on this roll, but you can add points if you feel like you need to.
But I already have like an added on modifier.
You have some because you're up in the hayloft and you have hay around you. So there will be a situational bonus that will be decided and told to you after your roll.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna raw. I'm not gonna use any points. I think
Okay.
I'm just gonna go for
Raw
it.
dog it.
Yeah. So we'll see. Let's see.
Raw dog roll it.
3.
Okay. So the situational modifier here was +1 because you are surrounded by hay. So you hit the 4.
Yay!
Oh wow!
And that's-
All right.
Mazel
That's
tov.
how the tests work, by the way. Like the physical test, this is like the general flow of things. You determine how you're going to assist each other. You say like, okay, I'm going to use this to do this to make the situation more feasible. Then you say, okay, I'm going to spend this amount of points, and then you hope the DC isn't 12. But you basically all have basically the caveat of how to play the basics of the game now. So we're about to get into the heated stuff. So you all are having a wonderful stakeout. I assume that you all are like just having breath about you because as the stable hands start to shut down for the day, you all are still in your spaces just trying to make sure that you're keeping the most attention to who needs to be. You're just looking out, you're saying, okay, that wasn't anybody. And you all are looking at Hades, right? Like you all are trying to make sure like whatever happens, you are right there and attentive for him. Right?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Dolly is hiding. Not even going to try to look, because if they try to look, they're going to fuck it all up.
You're
They
just
know
doing
that.
like one of these.
Yep, just like staying as stock still as they possibly can.
You're
And
doing
just
like
waiting-
earthquake protocol.
Just waiting till they hear some shit. Like when they hear Amelia start yelling, that's when Dolly's going to move for the first time.
Aw, you wait for me. Nugget.
Oh my gosh. And so I'm going to say the other rules that I was talking about the group check. Cooperation. When 2 characters cooperate towards a single goal, they agree which of them is undertaking the task directly and which is assisting. Okay. The leader may spend any number of points from their pool adding to the die roll. The assistant may pay any number of points from their pool. All but one of these is applied to that dice roll. So you and your ally are trying to lift a very, very heavy portcullis and not just step under to take the lead. So one person takes the lead and spends 6 points. And your bonus on the test would be +11. Jesus, that's wow. Okay. You both spent 6 points, so but you both would get that same result. So if both of you had athletics and wanted to do it, that's another way of getting past the check. But if someone doesn't have that skill, then the difficulty of the attempt increases by 2, but the same kind of rules apply. So everything's closing down. Everyone is starting to get that sense of like not sleep dread, but I say like an hour or two is starting to pass by. And it gets to a point where you're even wondering, is anything going to happen now that you made such an elaborate, situation in this lovely stable. Hades does not seem to be faltering at all, though. Excuse me, like I said, this is not their first rodeo, so they're ready to even go, into the next day if they had to. And then you all hear it. It's a whirring sound akin to what we would perceive in our world as a radio signal, kind of like a whirring, like that high pitched, ugly sound, but it's not loud enough to make you concerned something's gonna like explode, but just enough to where it's almost like a mosquito sound, right?
It's dial up.
Yes, and
It's dial
I'm
up.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, unearth
No.
a core memory.
no, I'm not joking.
Oh, no.
That's what you kind of hear, because
I was
after a
kidding.
certain number. Oh, I'm not. I'm literally like you hear. That's what I mean by like you hear it enough to where you're like, what? But then I would say out of the group right
Flashbacks
now,
to 2000.
Stella and Dolly, you don't see it, Dolly, but you get the sensation of spirit sight being like a vibration of the air around you. Like you've had enough spirit sight experience to be like, something's affecting the space. With your vigilance and spirit sight, you're like, something is something. And you're like, is it scanning? Is this like AOL dial there? And Stella, you get the feeling with your corruption, something is perceivedly moving through this space. Like it's not triggering the trap, but you can feel like there's a think like a scry ball, and it's honing in closer and closer to Hades. And you can tell it's locking on to their whip, because in that trap circle it almost triggers, but you don't see anything, so why would you activate it? You could activate it earlier if you wanted to, but now you're realizing like something's. And when you hear the dial up sound reach its completion, there's like a and everyone sees this blue this slobbering blue goblin hop out of the hay as if through a portal, snatching up the whip from Hades. And there's a moment where it's like a portal, but it's not a portal. It's like phasing. Think Kitty Pryde from X-Men situation. And you see, as soon as they get to a point where they have the whip in hand and they have it, they are surrounded by this trap. And the trap is circling up to you all. And you all are like, yeah. And you see like, oh, Hades is getting up with their other whip, taking out the other sword, and everyone's getting ready. But then the moment happens where you see a second one blip up as well, and then push the other one through the portal. And you all from the outside see them being phased through by force, and there's still one in there. And a third one's popped out, and they're like, what's happening? You now understand it's like a train where there's more than one of these things that go after, and whoever gets it, they just keep going. So, like imagine like in a turnstable, like in a train in a metro station, and there's a runway path, that all 6 of them were essentially going to go after this one object, phasing and pushing each other to cause confusion and get and gone. And that's why it was such a rush. And right now, 2 of them has phased through. So it's like what is that Newton's cradle situation where they're pushing each other, and the landing is where you see the footsteps. So by pushing and running, they're hopping each other. So I would say 3 of them are out, and they're starting to run out the door. 2 are trapped in the trap with Hades. Hades is going to start attacking. And this is where we're going to start initiative. So.
Okay. Holy shit. blue 6. But we've only seen
Is the-
5.
Yes,
No.
you've
Okay.
only seen
Yeah.
5.
So you said 6, but I'm gonna forget that you said 6. We've only seen 5.
Yes.
2 are trapped. 2
3
escaped. And
3
the
are
other
running
one's
out
near
the
the
door.
hay.
You said.
3 are running out the door. Basically, imagine like the last 2 didn't really get what was going on, because imagine if you were doing this and then like you popped out and what the by the but you all note the one that is the first one got away with the whip.
God
You
damn
do
it.
see them. But
So they've
Is
been
the
using
portal-
portals to
Is the
get
portal still
inside.
there?
no, their body is a portal. Their body is actually like doing this magic.
Mhm.
It's a short-term portal magic. It's like phasing. That's what I meant to say. It's like phasing through force from each other, like Newton's cradle. So they are pushing themselves to go on to the next spot. That's basically throwing each other. I'm sure there's an anime or something that does this, where they throw each other to get to a farther point, and then each time they get to a
It's-
farther point, Naruto.
Yeah, like they keep
Naruto does it.
throwing it to each other to like confuse us, but yeah, I gotcha. I can see that.
But-
it's funny in my head.
It's
can see it.
chaos. It's chaos.
Yep.
But-
yep.
2 of them don't understand what's going on, and they are currently stuck within. And you can tell like it's gross, but we're gonna start off with them. And then what happens is in combat, it popcorns. So when you're done, you choose who gets to go next. But if everyone goes and then the enemy gets to go twice. And that's typically not good.
Okay.
Got it.
So let me go ahead and go into my initiative tracker. Oh, this is tasty.
I know you said initiative tracker, but I heard mischief tracker, and honestly, either works.
Oh,
One in the
I'm
same.
doing it. That's now what this is going to be called. Don't. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we now have goblins. They are going to be in 2 parties. Actually, the ones that are trapped and ones that have phased on. So I would say the ones that are trapped, you currently see that they are confused, because normally what happens is you presume they get the object and then they're out. And you can tell like the other ones didn't even stop to consider like what happened to them. They're already like thinking they're like raising the whip, and they're like, and they're making weird sounds too. Not typical goblin sounds. They are going to look at Hades and look at the situation, and one of them is going to push the other one out, which leaves only one inside. So they're going to attempt to disengage, and one of them is now outside of the trap, and join that group, and one of them is stuck inside, and they look like they're going to try to attack Hades. So this is going to be a physical attack. They're just going to try to punch them. They don't have weapons. That's a 6 though. That's gross. Okay. You just see this weird moment where this and punches him in his face to the point where you see like a little bit of blood. He's like, what? And 5 plus 1 points of damage. So it was a solid right hook.
How dare you make me bleed my own blood?
Oh my god!
And you all see this from like the pit, like a cage match, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And then the goblin is going to pass it off to Amelia. So Amelia, it's your turn to do an action or whatever you would like to do. You are currently in a range where you can do a ranged attack, but you aren't close to them. They're like low. You could attempt to use like the cage as a slide to get down to inside of the cage and fight. But what would you like to do?
Let me think. I'm gonna whip out my little pocket knife, and I'm going to slip and slide down the cage, and I'm gonna try to take a slice at the goblin.
Okay. So that would be a warfare attack, right?
Mhm.
So tell me, are you going to spend any points for this roll?
I can't.
Are you out of warfare? Or you
I
don't have
I
warfare?
don't have any.
What do you have, Sway?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So that
I'm-
means that you have to do a naked roll.
Excuse me.
So,
Oh, what?
oh my gosh. So tell me what you roll if you.
What?
Haha. It's a 2.
You're. Oh. So this goblin's dodged from your strike, and you all see as Amelia is like being outwitted and outmaneuvered by this phasing goblin. And you can see like they're just drooling at the face, and their eyes are a deep white, and they're like stutter stepping and like saying, "Gotta get back, gotta get back, gotta," and like they do that on loop. All right.
Back to the future.
Well, all right.
Uh, can't. Who would you like to popcorn it off to? Remember, there is Hades and your party members, as well as the other goblins that are currently running.
Sugar boots. I'm going to popcorn it to Dolly.
All right, Dolly.
Can Dolly get to the one with the whip?
Ooh,
Oh,
they're way too fast.
what else?
You realize, like, let's say in D&D terms, like 30, 30. They're moving about 50,
Okay.
and they're dashing. So, like,
Got
if
it.
you want to do something, you gotta like do something to stop them from doing. Oh, roll me a d6, please.
Can I add anything?
You can add your vigilance, or you can add something that would allow you to note. So felonious intent, vigilance.
I'll add vigilance.
How many points are you adding?
2.
Okay.
7.
You see that there's another goblin at the end of one of the open doors. At like not the open doors, but like farther down, like down the stable way, that has in their hand something that looks like a radio, like something that we would say like is like some kind of device that you presume is the sound that you were hearing before. And you, just from your history of goblins and your history, like they don't do this. First off, they're not usually blue. First off, they don't do like this kind of attack and leave each other. Like this kind of leave each other. They don't generally do this. This is very out of character. And the one even looks almost intelligent as he's taking note of like the other goblins running towards them. And there's this like weird sense of sentience to them for like what level of goblin that it doesn't make sense to you right now. But you note that as it's happening, and you can see the trajectory of where they're going.
And they're going towards the goblin with the radio or away from the goblin? Okay. I'm going to... Can I have cleave?
Yeah. So that
warfare.
So what that means is if you use an attack and you hit a critical hit, then you can do damage to more than one enemy.
Okay. I'm going to try to throw Frostbite, which is my sword. Because there's no way I'm going to fucking get there.
It has a name.
And
yes.
And have it like somehow damage that goblin's arm that's holding the radio. So I'm going for either the radio or the arm to like either knock it out of its hand or cut the hand off or like pin the arm against the wall. That's
Dark sword with a sword.
Is it it's a like a long sword, short sword, normal sword? What's the length
It's a
of this
normal
weapon?
sword. It's like I'm flinging it end over end, and it's like it's not like a spear. It's like this is a Hail Mary. They've
you
got
understand,
short little
right?
legs.
You understand this is like a bad situational modifier because this is what
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah.
about when you wouldn't know. Because
Yeah.
one, everyone, this is not a
Mhm.
weapon that could be usually done like this. One,
Mm-mm.
and two, it's not in the way that it should be used. So like, there's a double.
Yep. Yep.
So what would you like to roll for this? Would you like to spend any points before you
I'm
do
gonna
this attack roll?
spend 4 warfare points.
Whoop.
All right, you're spending 4 warfare points.
Yeah, this is difficult. Ooh, 8. I rolled a 4.
So that's gonna be it. Okay, so this is what happens. You see it thrown. Everyone kind of like sees this moment where Dolly lines up the shot, and you all are like, it's not gonna actually get it. And you see the sword just do like this weird circle, like that slow motion towards it, and you see that it's actually going for the radio. And you're like, oh, and everyone's kind of like in this moment, like, is it gonna happen? And instead of hitting the radio, which it was going to do, you see the goblin instead turn its side so that it takes the hit instead. And you see he and falls to the ground, and you see that it throws the radio out the stable as it falls.
Oh, fucker. Okay.
And
Okay.
you
Okay.
all
Okay.
are like-
Okay. Okay.
You're just like, oh my god, like this is not normal behavior. But
Dolly, you get your gold
everyone-
star back.
Okay. Okay. Well, I
So-
used half my warfare points, so I'm kind of fucked the rest of the way. But noted.
I don't have any.
And you're like, oh, this is bad. This isn't normal. This isn't right. And normally goblins, of course, they like throw away the shiny object like when they see like this blade. But this goblin saw this was gonna hit them, and instead of just letting the thing take the hit, let itself go. And
Okay.
you are who would you like to popcorn it off to?
I can't popcorn to NPCs, right? I would be popcorning to.
Anyone you want.
Including enemies and
Can I have popcorn to
Oh, could
Hades?
be.
You can. So Hades is going to be in still that locked combat with its one goddamn goblin, and they're gonna try to whip them. All right, they hit, and the goblins are, as you can tell now, very low on HP. So as soon as he whips them with the diamond whip, you can just tell, like, yeah, and falls to the ground slobbering, just like catatonic. Amelia, you see this too, and you all don't see what's happening outside because you're still in the shell. And Hades says, "What's going on? Where did they go?" And Stella, you're being popcorn too.
So are there any like in the barn I can see?
One's dead. One's dead. The other ones are heading out. There are 3 that have made progression noteworthy, essentially, and then there's one that just got out of the wall trap. You get that their phasing is very time sensitive.
So sorcery is listed as like a blasty kind of deal, but can I do it to like entrap them too or not?
Sorcery is more so like an
Like
attack.
if I use
It's
my
more
sorcery.
because you can say how you're trying to attack them, and that would raise the situational modifier by a certain amount. So, like, tell me what you would like to do, and that would determine the situational modifier in this high moment of stress.
Okay, well, so are any of them like the ones that are not in the cage? Are they visible and are they grouped?
Visible, not grouped. It's chaos. It's like a swarm of children leaving a room after playtime.
What if I used 3 sorcery points to I guess animate the hay in the area to make I want to use my physical transmutation to turn them into like needles and just kind of like into as many goblins as I can in an area.
Okay.
We're having
What's
a
your
hutch.
That is nasty.
I don't know.
what is your sorcery? Is it 9? I think it was 9.
It's 6.
Okay, so you have to roll a critical hit in order to basically do this. But you would only be able to hit one additional, if that. So, which ones are you going to try to target?
The one's closest to the radio.
Okay, so the one that's closest to the radio has the whip, and one does not. Okay, so roll your attack. Are you spending points?
Yeah, 3.
All right. So roll, please.
I fell on the ground. Okay, this one. Oh, I got a 4 plus 3. That's a 7.
Okay. You hit both of them, and you see, like, as you are sending the needles their way, and are you trying to kill or trap?
I want to trap the one with the whip and then kill anyone else.
You have to do both. You have to.
Oh, let's
Ooh.
trap them both then.
Okay. All right. So you trap them both. All right. Are you doing anything else as you're on the top?
I want to do it like acupuncture style, so they're kind of just like pinned to the ground, like bugs on display.
I will say you do this, but you have limited time before they literally die.
Okay.
Because if they're
and
still
then I'm
being
gonna-
pinned down, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I'm gonna. Do I have time to jump down?
Yes, you can use your movement to
Cool.
basically close a certain distance. So you are now probably in, like, let's say, ball throwing range, like baseball, right?
I'm gonna run for that radio.
Okay. So
I'm gonna book it.
your only option is either Kavari or the guys to popcorn it too after your turn.
Sorry,
Ooh.
I'm having
Okay.
trouble understanding right now.
Um.
Please try a little later.
I'm not going to question it.
Don't question the
after my
voice.
movement, how close
Shut
am I
up.
to it?
I would say you're
So,
about,
I
let's say,
did the magic and then I moved towards.
yes. Are you staying on top of the lodge or are you going downstairs? You know
I'm
what I mean? Are
jumping.
you? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Roll me in athletics.
I can spend
Or
athletics points.
Okay. Or
I'm spending the
You
rest
can
of
use-
them.
okay.
Yeah, so I spent 3. So I rolled a 2. I'm at 5 to
Alright.
jump down.
I would say it was a difficulty 5 situation for the situation of using a spell magic. You do that landing, that's kind of like a frog kind of thing, where, you know, like you land and then you're
Spider-Man.
close, but you still have to, like, recover a little bit. But now you're on their level, and now you see them
It's
more
the Black
directly.
Widow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
With the leg
mean,
out.
You mean from that last movie where the landing was
Yes.
kind of rough?
What are you
Yeah.
doing with your hair?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And who would you like to
Okay, and then
popcorn it
popcorn. Yeah, Kavira.
Kavari.
How do you say?
Kavari.
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 All right. Kavari. What would you like to do?
So, how far is it? Oh, you said 20 feet. Never mind.
It's a jump. That's what I mean. Like, it's a jump. It's not like just you go down. That's why you had to go and use athletics and all that to get up. So in order to get from this point down to the ground, you have to do some bit. If you wanted
Or
to
else
do
I'll
it
take
fast.
the damage.
Yes.
Okay. I am. Fuck it. I'm gonna start to climb down, but then jump off, holding my sword, and just.
Oh, I love it. I love this. I'm all right. So I can't spoil this. What are you using to do
The
this?
one that Stella has like pinned into the floor, obviously.
So you're gonna kill
The
one
one
of
with the
them.
whip.
Is that not what we're trying to do?
No,
I
I'm
just-
saying, are you going to land and kill the one with the whip?
Yeah, the one that Stella has like pinned to the floor.
Okay.
There's 2 pinned.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Right?
I mean, that's
No,
that's
yeah, no.
fine.
All right. So roll me your athletics and then roll me your attack. Or what you can do is instead just roll the attack, but know that your situational modifier would be very negative. You see what I'm saying?
So I should roll twice, one for the athletics and one for the attack.
It depends on what your remaining points are. Because if you had, let's say, a lot of athletics, it might be beneficial just to do the athletics and then like lower that. Because if you didn't, you would only be able to use your attack roll, and then it would be even harder to get that attack, and you might have to spend even more points
So I
to
should
hit.
do the former, what you said.
If you have the points to do it.
So yeah, I mean, I have all of my athletics still because I didn't use it
Yes.
before, and which means I also obviously have all of my,
Warfare.
yeah, thank you. Also, why? Oh,
And by the way, everyone, this is still Act 1. And remember, at the end of the act is when you get all your stuff back.
okay, so my warfare is 4, my athletics is 9. So can is it easier to jump down than it was to climb down?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Because like you could be wrong.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend 2 athletic points to jump down, and 2 warfare points to attack it.
Okay, so first give me that athletics roll.
Okay,
And you're gonna add 2 to this.
Yes. So I'll have 7 remaining.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5.
You made it. That was a check. So then now roll your attack roll.
6.
You hit. And like I said, these are very easy. Killed it.
Yeah.
You
What
see
does that
like
look like?
Tell me how you land. You can do whatever. You have cinematic finish right now. So tell me how you
Like I
you
can do
this.
whatever physics don't apply.
I'm gonna say they might apply, but like, don't get crazy. So
Okay, because what I have in my head is like, you know how like in animes a lot of times it'll do like a freeze so that the audience can see what it looks like because it might be going too fast or something like that. So like she's gonna like this is stupid. I don't know why I thought of this. She's gonna go like head first with her sword and try to like stab it right in and then land on her feet.
I
Like,
just
handstand.
imagine Teen Titans scene of like a whole like launching forward and like that whole bit.
Sure, yeah.
But you are able to land and you slay this goblin and you see you strike them down and they are not bleeding the normal color of goblin blood as you know it. They're bleeding a crimson blue, which is something new to you. And you see like they're but as you see them fade away, because this is the first yes, you know like it starts to fade. The blue, it starts to fade a little bit, but that's all you can do for your turn, right?
Can I pick up the whip?
No, because you use your action to do the athletics check and the attack, you are still recovering from that moment. So in that moment where you are popcorning it now to the last 2 remaining, they now get to go twice. So what's going to happen?
You warned us not to do that.
As soon
What?
as they were like, "Oh, popcorn to Calvaria," I was like,
What's my
I don't remember.
So,
Your name's
I don't have to
Kev.
scream up right now.
oh
Leave me
god,
Your name's
alone.
Kev.
Your name's
It's Kev.
everyone, you're like, wow, this is so. But the last 2, now knowing the situation and seeing this, and they've done this so many times, you see the one whip as it's dying, kind of like, and drops it to the side, but before it can even hit the ground, like a football scoop, you see one of them grab the whip, and the other one grabs the radio,
First
and
down.
within 2 split seconds, they're out. They are blurs, and when you actually look at them leave the space, you can see like the trail of blue, basically from how fast they're going. It's almost like a phase effect where they have left a trail of where they're running, but only for a split amount of time, and you know like that's gonna fade real quick. You can follow them because you can tell like if you were actually chasing them, but you have to actually chase them. So you what we are
They
oh,
gone.
is this gonna be the cliffhanger? No, you can follow them, but you have to do so immediately. All right. And this is where
Might
we
as
will
well.
end the session.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you
Good.
all, this is where, and this is the end of Act 1, everyone. So congratulations. You've ended the Act
Yay.
1, so everyone will get their stuff back. This was the
Woo.
tutorial session. And this will now change from the act title being Once Upon a Time Chimera. So you all are able to chase them, but you have to do it fast, or else you will lose the track. The streak is what I would call it. But you can tell like they have a very targeted place that they're going. So
We can follow the blue trail. Follow
only
the
for
yellow
so
road.
long. Oh
So
my
the next
gosh.
session will be the beginning of Act 2.
And this
Cool.
is like a chase scene situation. So that's fun. But I hope you're ready
boy.
for it. You at least you saw the instance before it got rough. But after we do our streams, we do our little bits and wiggles. So the advancement points are not here yet because we're doing the tutorial of how to do the social. This is more of the physical activities in the world, and as we get more comfortable, you all could use the automatic tracker and guess the situational modifiers and see what you think you need to spend points, but I won't tell you after this point. So this was your training wheels. I will also help you in the future, but just keep in mind.
So we have to evaluate how difficult this thing would be. How difficult is it to open a door?
Yes.
Or anything. It was a bad example.
I mean, it's true. If it was a stone door with like all the intricacies of magic, yes. So then we're also going to be adding our audience participation in the future. So if people are watching the stream, they can spend points to do shenanigans. But I'm going to implement that later once everyone can do things reliably. So don't worry about that just yet.
Once we know how to play.
Yep.
Great.
So now we will go on to the addressing of wishes and stars and wishes. So who would like to go first? If you would like to.
I have a star for Erica. That freaking trap idea was mind-blowing. So good. So good.
That's the first time anyone's caught them. Period. Like that's the first time anyone has actually physically had them in a space where they could not get away fast enough. So
freaking fucking brilliant. Yeah, that was great. Wishes that I learn the rules a little bit better. So I'm gonna do some watching of. Hey, shout out to YouTube, Quelmar's YouTube channel. James Ruth has a great mini tutorial on how to play this game. So I'm gonna watch it.
True story.
On repeat.
True story.
That's my wish. And I'm gonna popcorn to Alexandra.
Okay. I would also star Erica, but also would like to star just to also commend Dolly. Honestly, because they were able to kind of like, even though they were freaked out, they were like, okay, we got this. I can do this. I'm going to help. It's all good. Getting over a fear kind of thing. So, and then a wish, a wish that I had thought about not letting goblins get away.
You didn't. You did stop a good chunk of these goblins.
I know.
So-
It's like maybe instead of doing something like really, I could be like, maybe I should try to. But that's okay. I'll think about it next time. Okay, I'm gonna go to Hutch.
Star for Dolly for being a straight liar in that house.
Oh yeah, too.
You
Just
liar.
being honest.
You liar.
Oh my gosh.
Straight liar. And wishes is in hindsight, I probably should have put something in actual battle points. But I'm going to fight them with their minds.
But like I said, you do have an
Make 'em
opportunity
cry.
at the end for you to change your points. This was like the second one, so you can change your points. This would be your last call for changing points. So you all, that's an important point for everyone. It's like if you want to change your point, this is like the last call.
So I just had a question about that. So like I could do sorcery or warfare, right? Because I could do like magic damage or physical damage. Okay.
Yep, and that was what we saw today. Like if you try to use warfare with the knife, but you don't have warfare, then why would you use the knife? But sway could be relevant. It just you had to determine what you want your effects to be, and then you had to mechanically find how to do the cause of it. So
Yeah.
I
guess I'm the last
that everyone?
person. No, I have to go.
it's like
My star's for Kelly because I think those pet names you randomly gave us all were so freaking cute. Tea time.
Tea
I
time.
love that.
Tea time.
Time,
that's
overconfidence, and this one has horns.
This one has horns.
That
And
was
this
good.
is
I like
has
that.
horns.
Beautiful moment.
Oh my
And then yeah, for wishes for next time is also to watch that video and probably brainstorm how I can get my spheres together. Because after I'd done that one attack with the needles, I was like, oh wait, I'm lucky too. So I could just be like, try to not kill them with luck. Yeah.
that's one of
probably
the
gonna
neat
have a lot of
things.
daydreams
Yeah.
about that.
Ooh. Yeah, that's like I said, one of the neat things about the system and why it's so like critical during these playtesting 2 sessions that you see like what you can do and like, oh wow, it's really open-ended. But like the open-ended is so open-ended that you gotta like close it in a little bit. And that's why it's so recommended to have like this character theme. And like even like with the anime situation, if you literally had in your head of an anime character, do your actions through this character like Stella. And oh, this is how I use my magic. When I'm doing this, this is what I'm doing. When I'm doing this, this is what I'm doing. And with that being said, I think my stars and wishes, I really enjoyed how interactive you all were with Hades and just like the idea of like, what would you do if you had to do like this kind of this moment? And I just enjoyed it. And the learning the game was the star. Was like learning how to do the physical stuff because it's a lot. But we're gonna work through it and find out as we go, and I'll keep it up just so that we keep on these mechanics. Wishes for me would just be to keep it going. Plugs. Does anyone have any plugs that they want to, spit out right quick, please? Yes. Like the Ark and Forge.
I'm Witch Watch Games on YouTube and Twitch. So if you want to see me act like a moron while playing video games, that's where you find me.
Yeah, use code TheQuelmarForge at Ark Forge to get money off your Master's Toolkit, and you should all get the Master's Toolkit because it's ridiculously affordable for what it is, and
Correct.
It's amazing and awesome. What's going on? There's no first
Also,
class.
Join
this
us again
week.
Thursday.
Yes, system agnostic.
Thursday's the next thing, I think. Yeah. I'll be here
Mhm.
again, but I'll be the Sphinx Cat magic person, Pudding.
Oh, and then if there are people in Pennsylvania, sign up. Go this weekend to play the Greedy Green in person in the big old place.
Go to the retreat.
Raise money for QuamarCon. Do it.
Where is it?
It's in Pennsylvania.
PA.
No, what? Well, like where?
Near
in
State
Pennsylvania?
College, I think.
I think
'Cause
a 40-minute drive. Yeah, east of State College.
Yeah.
It's a 2.5-hour drive for me.
And then Sunday, watch Another One Bites the Dice. We're back.
Everything's far away.
Oh yeah. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes. I think that's the Walmart stuff.
Yeah, so yep. Do the Ark and Forge. I'm gonna probably add that to the Be Soon page at this point, where it's just gonna just do the video on repeat. Let's see. Is there anything else that we have to do after the stream? Oh, when you can watch Tristan next, because that's always the thing. We will be playing again, in 2 weeks, which is obviously on this calendar that I'm pulling up as September
6th.
Yeah, 9/6, which is the inverted 6, and there's such a weird way of. I mean, it's relevant for me, so I'll talk about that once we're probably 3 sessions in, and then it will actually happen. But I'm so excited for that session because then the training wheels are off and the players are going to be in the shit.
I'm terrified. Okay.
But I am so excited for that. So join us once again on September 6th. And what is the thing we do? We do the rolling of the dice, and then we do like the keep it rolling thing, and we all do the whole thing.
Keep them rolling.
How's that? All right, are we
Or
to
keep
count down
rolling
this
the
time?
dice. Yeah, we can put our own
I like
spin.
keep it
Or
rolling.
just one person needs to say it, really. It's all.
Fine.
I like keep
you
it
don't need to
rolling
be
too.
a team player.
I mean, we can all say it together.
It's not gonna be all together though.
No.
All right, we can count down.
Oh boy.
We could just do like we're doing. I love this teamwork.
I want to hear that
If
train
you-
wreck happen.
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, I love it. All right, but before we go, we're gonna be on
Which one are we
Discord
doing?
after. Keep it rolling. Can we do
Yes.
keep it rolling? I think
Sure.
keep it rolling
Yes.
is easy.
Love
We
it.
can
Right?
do that.
Great.
Yeah.
3,
Yes.
2, 1.
Keep
Keep
it
it
rolling.
rolling.